Imagine for a moment that there is a principle so powerful, so simple, and yet so completely forgotten that it could turn an ordinary life into one of extraordinary success. Most people walk through life without ever knowing it exists, even though it's the key to everything they desire. Earl Nightingale, known as the voice of motivation, explained it with astonishing clarity. But over time, this principle was buried under routine, distractions, and the noise of the modern world. Today, I want to reveal it to you because it could be exactly what you've been waiting for to change your life forever. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and leave a like, because what you're about to hear can make a real difference in your manifestation journey. Also, take a moment to think, what specific result are you trying to attract into your life right now? Leave it in the comments, because your answer could inspire someone else on the same path. And don't forget to check the links in the description for complimentary materials that will expand on these principles. Earl Nightingale said, "We become what we think about most of the time." It sounds simple, but here is the forgotten key. Most people don't think about what they truly want. They think about what they fear, about what they don't want, or about problems they hope never return. And the universe doesn't distinguish between positive or negative thoughts. It simply delivers results aligned with whatever dominates your mind. That's why so many people attract lives full of obstacles, worries, and scarcity. They are consistently reinforcing those patterns in their thoughts. The forgotten principle that guarantees results is to discipline your mind to focus entirely on what you desire, without letting contrary thoughts take over. It's like planting a seed. You cannot just put it in the ground. You need to nurture it, water it, and protect it from weeds. Your thoughts are those seeds. If you focus on abundance, you are planting wealth. If you focus on health, you are planting well-being. If you focus on love, you are planting fulfilling relationships. But if you let doubt, fear, and negativity dominate, you will only harvest the weeds, no matter what you initially planted. Now, ask yourself, how much of your day do you dedicate to clearly visualizing what you want? Many get distracted by social media, external problems, or conversations that don't add value. Meanwhile, their minds are being programmed to attract results they never consciously chose. Nightingale insisted that the mind is like fertile soil. It will always produce something, but you decide what seeds are planted. This simple principle, forgotten by most, is the reason so many people live life on autopilot, collecting results they never intended. Now imagine what happens if, starting today, you consciously align every thought, every mental image, and every word with what you want to manifest. The surprising thing is you don't need anything external to start, only the decision to control your focus. When you do and keep it day after day, you begin noticing small coincidences, unexpected opportunities, and subtle changes in your feelings. That is manifestation in action. Earl Nightingale often said that success is not a mystery reserved for a select few, but a natural consequence of applying universal laws that are always at work, whether you are aware of them or not. And this forgotten principle is exactly that, a law in action. The real question is, are you using it consciously to your advantage, or are you letting it operate unconsciously against you? There is no neutral ground. Every thought you repeat is like giving an order to your subconscious and simultaneously sending a signal to the universe. Many people believe that simply wanting something intensely is enough to make it appear. Nightingale made it clear that desire alone is not enough. What you need is sustained, focused thought, combined with aligned action. The problem is that most people think about what they want one day, and the other 6 days dwell on what they lack. That inconsistency in thought is why consistent results rarely occur. Imagine your mind as a radio transmitter that constantly emits signals. If today you tune into the frequency of abundance, but tomorrow switch to scarcity, the universe receives contradictory messages and cannot deliver clearly what you request. The forgotten principle is maintaining one consistent mental frequency, regardless of the physical circumstances you see around you. Here's the critical point. Most people only believe in what they see, while great manifestors first believe and then see. Faith in this context is not religious, it is practical. It is holding the image of the desired outcome firmly in your mind, even when the current reality seems contrary. This is precisely what separates those who progress from those who remain stuck. Nightingale observed that every successful person he studied had a common trait: a clear vision paired with a positive obsession with that vision. They didn't allow distractions, constant goal changes, or the opinions of others to pollute their focus. They knew exactly what they wanted and kept that vision alive until reality conformed to it. The challenge for you is, can you maintain a clear mental image of what you want for weeks, months, or even years without letting doubt erase it? Practicing this consistently is what guarantees results. This is not magic, it is universal law in action. One of the most fascinating aspects of this principle, which Earl Nightingale often emphasized, is that it doesn't require any external conditions to start working. It doesn't matter if today you are facing financial difficulties, health challenges, or complicated relationships. In fact, this is exactly when your ability to apply what Nightingale taught is tested. Anyone can think positively when everything is going well. The real power lies in maintaining focus even in the middle of a storm. Imagine that your current life is a field where you have been planting seeds of worry, fear, and doubt for years. Now, by applying this principle, you decide to plant new seeds: abundance, confidence, love, and well-being. What will happen? For a time, both sets of plants will grow together. You will still see the fruits of old seeds, but you will also begin to notice the first sprouts of the new ones. And here is where many people give up. They expect immediate results, and when they don't see them, they return to planting negativity. Nightingale insisted on something crucial. Results are never instant. Just as a farmer does not plant today and harvest tomorrow, you cannot expect a new thought to yield immediate results. It requires consistency, patience, and mental discipline. This forgotten principle reminds us that the mind never rests. If you don't consciously direct your thoughts toward what you want, you will end up manifesting what others, the media, or your environment have planted in you. That is why so many people live lives they didn't choose, trapped in routines they dislike, surrounded by circumstances that seem unavoidable. They are simply harvesting seeds planted by others. The good news is that the moment you take conscious control of your mind, your life begins to change immediately. Not explosively or overnight, but gradually, in an upward curve that grows a little more each day. What matters is not the speed, but the direction. When you remain steadfast in the right direction, your desired outcome becomes inevitable. Ask yourself honestly, what seeds are you planting in your mind today? Because those seeds will determine the fruits you will harvest tomorrow. Earl Nightingale also warned that this principle can work against you if not applied consciously. What does this mean? The human mind naturally tends to focus on problems, on what's missing, or on past mistakes. If you don't train your attention, you will unconsciously plant thoughts that generate outcomes you do not desire. A clear example is worry. How often do you find yourself thinking about what could go wrong, what you lack, or what you fear losing? That repetition is a powerful magnet, because the more you imagine it, the more energy you give it. Eventually, what you feared ends up manifesting in some form. This is not coincidence. It is cause and effect in action. That's why Nightingale emphasized the importance of mastering your inner dialogue. Every word you say to yourself is a seed. If you repeat, "I can't," "it's too hard," or "I'll never succeed," you reinforce a reality that limits your growth. But if you program your mind with phrases like, "I'm moving closer to my goals every day," "I'm capable of achieving what I set my mind to," or "My life is full of opportunities," you start creating a new, vibrational pattern that the universe responds to. The forgotten principle is not about denying your current reality. It's about consciously choosing which thoughts deserve your energy. What you think affects not only your emotions, but your behavior, decisions, and ultimately your results. Nightingale asserted that the secret to success is simple because it depends on something always under your control: your thinking. The extraordinary part is that you do not need money, contacts, or luck to apply it. All you need is commitment and the determination to keep your mind focused. The question is, are you willing to make that commitment? If so, you will notice your life gradually aligning with your new vision. And remember, because this is a universal principle, it works for everyone, without exception. Earl Nightingale explained that this forgotten principle is not a hidden secret, but a silent law, much like gravity. You don't see gravity, but you know it exists because of its effects. The same goes for your thoughts. Even if you can't see them physically, their consequences inevitably manifest in your life. Consider this: every outcome you have today, whether positive or negative, originated first as an idea in your mind. Your financial situation, relationships, health, and career all began with repeated thoughts that became actions and then realities. Here's the crucial point: if what you have today doesn't please you, it simply means you have been sowing the wrong seeds. Nightingale said that 95% of people live reactively, responding to what happens outside themselves instead of creating consciously from within. Only a small 5% truly understands this principle and applies it consistently. The difference between these groups is massive. While one feels trapped in problems, the other moves forward with the certainty that each day brings them closer to their desires. The amazing thing is that anyone can shift from the reactive group to the proactive one with a single decision, taking conscious control of their thoughts. But here comes the key: understanding the principle is not enough. You must practice it daily, even when results aren't immediately visible. Nightingale used the metaphor of a ship captain. Imagine a ship sailing without a map or destination. The chances of reaching a successful port are almost zero. But a ship with a clear destination and a captain who keeps the course will eventually arrive. Your mind is that ship, and your thoughts are the rudder. So ask yourself, are you letting others steer your rudder, or have you decided to direct it toward the life you truly desire? One of the most powerful aspects of this principle, which Earl Nightingale emphasized repeatedly, is that we attract more of what we think about. And this more doesn't just come in quantity, it comes in intensity. If you focus on fear, you will attract more reasons to be afraid. If you focus on gratitude, more reasons to feel thankful will appear. The mind doesn't distinguish between casual thoughts and deep, sustained ones. Both become instructions to the subconscious. The key, therefore, is repetition. A single thought alone won't change much, but a thought consistently held day after day shapes your reality. This is how mental habits are formed, and just as a physical habit can transform your body, a mental habit transforms your destiny. Nightingale illustrated it by saying, "The mind is like a magnet. It draws exactly what corresponds to the dominant image you hold." It doesn't matter what you say aloud, if deep inside your mind you maintain a contradictory image. The universe responds to your inner vibration, not your external words. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Most people think they are focusing on what they want, but they are really dwelling on the lack of it. For example, someone might say, "I want more money," but think from scarcity, worrying about not having it. That scarcity vibration is what they reinforce. The difference between thinking in terms of abundance and thinking in terms of lack is subtle, but it separates those who manifest results from those who stay stuck in the same cycle. The forgotten principle is to hold the image of what you want as if it's already yours. Feel it in the present and be grateful as though it already exists. That emotion and certainty is the strongest signal you can send to the universe. And here comes the practical step. Can you dedicate a few minutes every day to visualize with detail, emotion, and gratitude what you desire? That simple, repeated practice is what turns a mere wish into an inevitable result. Earl Nightingale also emphasized that this principle does not replace action, it amplifies it. Clear, focused thought is the starting point, but true transformation occurs when those thoughts drive you to act in alignment with them. The mind creates the map, but your steps walk the path. For example, when you maintain the mental image of prosperity, you start noticing opportunities that were previously invisible. Your selective attention adjusts to your vision, filtering reality to show pathways that align with it. This is not coincidence. Your subconscious begins directing your behavior toward what matches your dominant thought. Nightingale noted that anyone who sets a clear goal is already ahead of 95% of the population because most people never define what they truly want. Vague desires like, I want to be happy or I want success, are insufficient. The universe responds to clarity, not confusion. The forgotten principle guarantees results because it forces your mind to focus in a single direction. Once you have that clarity, your actions start aligning effortlessly. You make different decisions, attract people who resonate with your vision, and create a domino effect of favorable circumstances. But Nightingale also warned, do not confuse results with speed. Some outcomes manifest quickly, others take time. The key is persistence. Each day you hold your mental image and act in alignment, you move forward. Even if you don't see immediate evidence, remember his phrase, a person with a definite purpose is never lost. Even if you stumble or face obstacles, your mind knows where to return. This inner compass keeps great manifestors moving when others give up. So reflect, have you defined your goals with clarity? Or is your mind still sending mixed signals to the universe? Earl Nightingale concluded that this forgotten principle is, in fact, the master key to every human achievement. We become what we think. No matter how much you try to ignore this truth, you will inevitably receive what your mind has consistently held. The real question is not whether it works, but in which direction you are using it. Imagine if, starting today, you consciously plant thoughts of abundance, confidence and love in your mind, sustaining them day after day. At first, you might not notice immediate change, but gradually your life begins to shift. You attract more opportunities, more synchronicities, and more people aligned with your goals. This is the power of the principle in action. Nightingale reminds us that we don't need external conditions to initiate this process. Everything begins internally. By cultivating clarity, determination, and gratitude in your mind, you inevitably harvest extraordinary results in your life. The only barrier between you and your dreams is the consistency with which you apply this principle. So today, commit to making this a daily practice. Dedicate time to visualize with emotion what you want, reinforce your inner dialogue with empowering words, and act in alignment with your mental images. Remember, your mind is the rudder of your destiny, and you are the captain. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and leave a like. Also, check the links in the description for complimentary materials that deepen these teachings and help you apply them. And tell me in the comments, what new seed will you plant in your mind today? Thank you for joining me on this journey through Earl Nightingale's wisdom. Now don't leave. Watch the video appearing on your screen next, where you'll discover another powerful lesson that can completely transform your way of thinking.